been about 3 weeks since Meta launched the newest social media site, Threads, right? It was huge at first. Lots of folks were talking about it. In fact, more than 100 million users signed up in less than a week's time. But according to market intelligence firm Sensor Tower, the number of daily active users has dropped nearly 70%. And it's not just the number of users, the amount of time spent on the app has dropped from 21 minutes to 6 minutes. So why the big drop? Well, as Kristen mentioned, who we love to turn to, Teresa Payton here, the CEO of Fortalice Solutions, is live in studio with us. How are you?
Good morning. It's great to be here with you.
Well, thank you for always being willing to help us break through and break down some of these, cybersecurity and big questions we have on social media. This one in particular, why the drop all of a sudden?
I think a couple of things. First of all, they made it super easy to sign up. It was just right there. You could sign up and you could use it. But the usability is different from Instagram, and it's different from Twitter even. And so does everybody have the time right now to learn a new platform? That remains to be seen. So it is interesting, though, that usage droppage is dramatic.
I know. It's almost like, what's that million-dollar question of what does it take for something to really catch on like TikTok has and like Instagram has? Because it appears once people are in, they're in, but if they're not in, I don't know that there's going to be much success. So kind of what is Meta's next move here, do you think, in this platform?
Well, I think they're going to have to do a couple of things. One is, the one thing I do like about it is the privacy policy, very easy to opt into. It is the same across the platforms, which means they can use the data any way they want across the platforms. But the thing I like about it is by post, you could decide who sees it. So you feel like you've got a little bit more control over what you're broadcasting. But I think to make it more usable, they're going to have to allow cross-posting, which they don't do today. And they're going to have to make it just a lot simpler and more compelling. So who are the celebrities talking on there? What kind of news feeds can you get? Can you control sort of the incoming? Can you tag things? So they're missing a few features and functionality that I think would help it take off.
And when you talk about cross-posting too, of course, right now, if you're on Instagram, you can share to your Facebook page, and that's that, cross-posting there. But that also reminds us that Meta has all that information that we give it on Facebook and on Instagram and now on Threads. So if you did open a Threads account or if you were thinking about it, what kind of information do they have access to at this point?
Oh, they have everything. So, and it's not just Meta's Facebook, Instagram, it's also WhatsApp. And then as you visit different sites, if they're using Facebook ads, there's something called Metapixel, which also tracks you as well. So they have everything. They have your gender, your likes, the things you repost, the places the groups that you join, they have it all.
And they use that to sell things,
right?
Yeah,
that's the thing, that all of the services right now are for free. And when the service is for free, how do they make money? You're the product for sale. So that's the thing you have to be thinking about as you share photographs, text messages, anything that you're doing on the platform, it's all available for them to use.
So if you're thinking, oh, let me go ahead and delete that now that I got on Threads, you're shaking your head no.
You can't.
I can't, because why?
Well, here's what's interesting. So if you decide, I really don't want this account anymore, to delete Threads, you actually have to delete your Instagram account.
So then you've lost your Instagram, and if you like being on there, you'd have to restart that over. If you don't delete Threads, can I disable it? Or if I'm not active on there, is it really not going to give them any more information anyway? Or can they still access information even if I don't really use my account?
Yeah, they can access your information at any time. So the privacy policy is, I always say to people, the privacy policy spells out the privacy you don't have. And so basically, as long as you have that account, whether you use it or not, they have access to all the information in your profile and any activity you had, as well as people who follow you. So even if you're not active, the people who follow you, who may tag you, who may post things, they still have that information.
So when it comes to sifting through, when these fads happen and when people are like, oh, let's jump on, what is your best advice when, when we're seeing these new social media sites roll out? Is it better to kind of wait on the sidelines and see how things play out? Or, at this point, is it, it's just another fish in the sea, if you will?
Yeah, I think the thing to think about is, especially if you have young people in your life who might be on social media, as a parent or somebody who might have young people in your life, you probably do want to adopt the new social media platforms, because I always say you need to be where your kids are to be able to guide them, coach them, and mentor them. Also, if you have a business, you don't want to sit out and potentially miss out on a fad. But just always understand that you are the product for sale. So when you do jump on a new social media platform, think about your privacy, your confidentiality. A couple of other things to think about. Maybe have an email address you only use for social media that you don't use anywhere else. Consider using a burner phone number, not your real cell phone number. Get a number from Talkatone or Google Voice and use that instead of your real cell phone number. And then that way you can sort of have a little bit of separation between your personal life and your private life and social media platforms.
Such good information always, Teresa Payton. Thank you so much for being with us today. I always want to put her information so you can follow along there on your screen, on Twitter and on Facebook as well. And you see her website, FortilusSolutions.com. Appreciate you so much.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
All right, Kristen, over to you.